institution. It doesn't mean anything today. We live in a mental institution. 'Cause everything's crazy, crazy, crazy. They're doing away with borders. It's a new world. It's a new day. There is a new world order coming to your town. You better get ready. You better get ready. It's a new day. It's a new way. It's a new day, new day. It's a new way.
Hey there, boys and girls. I'm Wild Bill, and I just rode into town. Look out, all you bad guys out there. I'm fixing to blow the whistle on all your evil plans. Yes, it is Saturday night, and you are not going to believe what I got for you right here on Revolution Radio.
Evil lurks in the hearts of men. The shadow knows.
That's right. The shadow knows. Hello, everybody out there in Radio Land. And hello, everybody down there in the chat room. Welcome to the Samsel Report. We're coming to you live from my personal isolation tank right here in St. Louis, Missouri. Oh, yes. So let's get this here show on the road. Ladies and gentlemen, our government is a cesspool of corruption. Our industrial might is a thing of the past, and the Constitution and the Bill of Rights are being trashed by a treasonous, out-of-control government intent on enslaving the American people. Now, I know, yes, I know, and you know, and everybody knows that it sounds like something from right out of the Twilight Zone. But do you know what? Do you know what? We live in the Twilight Zone. Oh, yes.
You're traveling through another dimension. A dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance. You are bombarded by the conditioning illusion projected forth by corporate and government-controlled mass media. A world of mind-controlled automatons, unable to think or speak out or stand up for themselves. You're entering a world where everything is just the opposite of what you think it is. You are living in the Twilight Zone. The Twilight Zone.
That's right. We live in the twilight zone, ladies and gentlemen. The mainstream media is a weapon being used to control and dumb down the American sheeple. Even as they are raped financially, their rights and liberties trampled upon, and America destroyed by design. And now it's time for an important message. Yes, especially for you listeners out there. Oh, yes, because this here program on Revolution Radio is listener supported. Oh, yes, and you know what? You know what that means, you, ladies and gentlemen. If you like this here network, and if you like this here program, then please, I'm begging you now, I'm down on my hands and knees, and I'm pleading with you now, send us some money, okay? Would you do that? Would you do that? Please, send us some money. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Now, we don't want a whole lots of money. No, we only want whatever it is that you can spare to help support Revolution Radio, because it is the voice of truth and freedom that you won't hear anywhere else. That's right. Oh, yes, so please send us money and help support informative, entertaining, fabulously original, innovative, cutting-edge, enlightening, mind-expanding, and awe-inspiring programs just like this one, okay? All right, yes. It's Wild Bill's Headline Roundup, and it is heard only on the Revolution Radio, okay? So send us money, all right? Okay? Yes, I tell you what, it is the Samsel Report that you are listening to. Yes, and it's your own damn fault, too. That's right. You got no one to blame but yourself. Okay? All right. Yes, it is the Samsel Report, the amazing answer to mainstream media mind-washing. Oh, man, one simple dose of the Samsel Report has been found to instantly cause anal discharge of cranial obstruction. That's right. How is that possible? How is that possible, you ask? Well, the Samsel Report is the only show that contains humor as its primary active ingredient. Oh, man, sheeple can experience dramatic results within 2 short hours, and the effects of Wild Bill's sarcastic wit can last for days. Oh, man, it is the Samsel Report, and it is heard only on Revolution Radio, except where otherwise broadcasted. Okay? That's right. And now, buckaroos, do you know what time it is? Do you know what time it... Well, let me tell you. It's time for Wild Bill's Headline Roundup. Oh, yes, indeedy do. That's right. all the news that you won't get from the mainstream media. Oh man, it's time to saddle up with old Wild Bill, and we're gonna ride off into the sunset there we're gonna collect us up a whole mess of them there headline critters. Okay? All right. Are you ready to ride? Are you ready to ride, buckaroos? Well, let's hit the trail. Let's ride. Woo-hoo! Hi-ho, sweetheart! Away! It's time now for Wild Bill's Headline Roundup. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Here comes our first headline. Obama promises illegal immigrants. Obama says Obamacare sign-up info won't be used for deportation. That's right. You heard right. That's what Obama said. Those were his words. Even though the law states that illegal aliens are not eligible, in a joint town hall with Telemundo and Univision, President Obama made a pledge that his administration will not use Obamacare sign-up data to deport illegal aliens. Will we hear from you a pledge? Will we hear from you a pledge, a personal promise that information provided in the registration process will not be used for deportation purposes? Oh, absolutely, absolutely, Obama said. He even put his hand down. He pounded the table. He went like that. That's what he did. He put his hand down like that for emphasis. That's right. Oh, yes. Man, oh, man. So even though in order to get Obamacare passed, the president promised that illegal aliens would not be eligible. Right? Right? He now makes a pledge on the Beaner channel that illegals can sign up with their info and will not be used to ship them back where they came from. That's right. Oh, yes. He also promised them, get this, he also promised them a welcome wagon basket full of goodies. Oh, yes, like free health care, education for the kiddies. Yeah, right. And food stamps, welfare, housing, bank accounts. That's right. That's right. A bottle of champagne, a coupon for a coupon for one free late model used car. Now, isn't that something? Huh? Yeah, they also get free live music lessons on the instrument of their choice. It's all included in the welcome wagon basket, right? Right? They also get a free subscription to Netflix. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. And free gift certificates from Walmart, McDonald's, and Taco Bell. Okay? That's all there in the President Obama welcome wagon basket. Right? Am I right? I tell you what, let's stick that one in the corral where it belongs. Get on in there. My goodness. What, dude, don't you hand them the whole thing right on a silver platter? I mean, get on in there. I tell you what. I tell you, is it me or what? You know? It makes me wonder sometimes. Well, I tell you what, that was our first headline, right? Okay. Well, now let's go on to our second headline. Okay. All right. Here it comes. Oh, 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 okay. All right, here it is. Our next headline. Facebook to place guns in the same category as porn. Oh, yeah, that's right. You heard right. Through sweeping policy changes, Facebook is now treating gun-related content as pornography on its social media site. And that includes restrictions restrictions on users 18 and under from seeing firearm-related content. Okay, so if you're 18 or under, you're not supposed to see firearm-related content on Facebook. Okay? All right? The gun control group Moms Demand Action spent the past month pressuring Facebook to restrict free speech on firearms-related topics. Okay, are you with me? Okay, all right. Additionally, in a huge push to brainwash the public, Facebook will also provide free ad space to Moms Demand Action and Mayors Against Guns for gun control propaganda targeted at gun owners and other users interested in gun-related content. Are you with me now? Okay? All right. So if you support the Second Amendment, if you post pictures of guns, okay, or you make pro-gun statements on Facebook, well, I tell you what, do not be surprised if it gets deleted, okay? Because I tell you what, guns are bad. Oh, yes, ladies and gentlemen, guns are bad. Yes, and the only those in authority should have them. Right? Am I right? That's according to Facebook. Facebook, who will soon be promoting that viewpoint in free ads for gun groups like Moms Demand Action, Mayors Against Guns, Politicians Against Freedom, Criminals Against Victims, Turkeys and Deers Against Hunters, octogenarians against loud noises, and the group Idiot Sheeple against anything the media tells them to be against. That's right. Okay? All right, so you got that now? Okay? Get on in there. Get your big fat old butt right on in there. Come on, get in there with the Facebook thing. I tell you what, man, oh man, is it, I just don't know anymore. You know what I mean? Man, oh man. Let's move on with the headline roundup, okay? All right, can we do that? Can we do that? No, what was that, sweetheart? What did you say, darling? What was it? Oh, okay, all right, okay. All right. Now, according to sweetheart, it's time for me to play this little clip for you, okay? All right? So, here it goes. Here you go.
Yes, it's Charlie Danger, private detective. Charlie Danger, defender of the Constitution. And now, Charlie Danger, private detective.
Get this and get it straight. Crime is a sucker's road, and those who travel it today are more cunning, traitorous, and evil than ever. They got big wallets and big ideas and big plans, and they don't like anything or anyone that gets in their way. I ought to know. I'm Charlie Danger. It was a cold, windy day as I sat behind my desk in my cozy little office waiting for a phone to ring that lately hadn't been ringing enough. I sat staring blankly at the wall, listening to the sultry sound of the sax player down the hall practicing for his next weekend's gig. I was trying to decide if I should get up and fix myself yet another drink. Suddenly the door burst open, and a beautiful blonde bombshell in a fancy evening dress that fit just right in just the right places strolled into the room. She stood there in her spiked heels looking utterly gorgeous and at the same time a little bit dangerous. I say dangerous because in her pretty little hand was a great big .38 caliber snub-nosed Smith & Wesson, and the business end was pointing right at my ticker.
Yes, there are now 4 Charlie Danger adventures to choose from. Go to hiddenmysteries.com. That's hiddenmysteries.com.
That's right. You can go to hiddenmysteries.com, where you can check out the 4 available Charlie Danger adventures. There's 4 of them, and there will soon be a 5th. There will soon be number 5, Dead and Dead Again. Oh, you don't want to miss that one when it comes out. Man, oh man. And you might also want to check out Today's New Atlantis. Okay? It's all about the United States of America, what we're going through today, and its connection to Atlantis, okay? So check it out, as by yours truly. You can also go and check out Coyote Trail. And that's a spellbinder, I tell you what. It's a Western. You're going to like that one. So go check that one out. And I tell you what, you can go to lulu.com. That's L-U-L-U, lulu.com. Go check them out there, too. Okay? Would you do that for a while, Bill? Would you do that? Okay, all right. Okay. I know, I just got finished doing that, okay? Okay? All right, okay. It's time now for us to continue with the headline roundup, okay? Our next story, our next headline, coming right at you here, okay? Here it comes. Oregon man arrested after allegedly talking about guns on a bus. Okay, that's right. You heard right. Oh, yes. On Tuesday, 41-year-old Patrick O'Brien Nolan found himself on the wrong side of the law after he allegedly spoke about concealed carry permits and about having a loaded gun on a bus in Portland, Oregon. Okay? You with me so far? Okay. The Tri-Met bus driver reportedly overheard Nolan. That's right. He overheard Nolan and his talk about being armed, right? Right? And the bus driver contacted the police. Even though Nolan did not have a gun, he was arrested anyway and taken to the Multnomah County Jail on a charge of interfering with public transportation. Oh yes. Oh yes. So I tell you what, if you talk about carrying a gun on a bus, you better look out. Okay? All right? You could find yourself sitting in the slammer, whether you actually got one or not. Okay? Because guns are scary. Right? Am I right? Guns are frightening. Guns are dangerous. Yes, just the mention of guns can cause the ignorant sheeple to soil themselves. That's right. Even plastic toy guns. Oh, yes. Oh, my, oh, dear, oh, me. Look out, he's got a gun. Oh, my God. Man, oh, man. You know what we're going to do with that one, don't you? You know where that one's going, huh? You know what we're going to do? Right down in the old porcelain receptacle. That's right. There it goes. There it goes. All gone. All gone. Okay. All right. Okay, let's go on to our next headline. Okay? Can we do that? Our next headline. Oh, you're going to love this one. You're going to love this one. Are you sitting down? Maybe you should sit yourself down. I don't want you to fall down when you hear this next one. Okay? We're going to get frank here. All right? We're going to get frank. Our next headline. Teenager sues parents in New Jersey. That's right. Teenager sues parents in New Jersey. Okay? All right. The northern New Jersey student is suing her parents. I don't make this stuff up. No, it's true. She sent a disturbing message to her mother. And that disturbing message was read in court. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. The message apparently got under the judge's skin due to its inflammatory and disrespectful nature. Okay? All right. Judge Peter Bogard ruled against forcing Rachel Canning's parents. Now her father is a retired police officer. And not only that, he's a retired police chief. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Well, Judge Peter Bogard ruled against forcing Rachel Canning's parents to pay her $650 a week in child support. Oh, yes, and they had to pay for her remaining year of high school tuition. See? Because she requested that in the lawsuit that was filed last week. Okay? Well, are you ready for this? The letter that they read out in court, the letter said, "Hi, Mom. Just wanted to let you know you're a real effing winner, aren't you? You think you're so cool, don't you? Sorry you have problems now, and you need to harp on mine because I didn't. I really just want to S all over your face right now because it looks that way anyway. I effing hate you, and I'm gonna write you off, so don't talk to me. Don't do anything. I'm blocking you from just about everything. So have a nice life, you loser. You loser. Right? Bye, Mom. Oh, man. Man, oh, man, oh, man. Now, I tell you what. Isn't that cute? Isn't that cute? How do you like that? This kid is an honor student? How did she pass English in grammar class? Huh? She can't spell either. Oh, no. If this was my kid, she wouldn't be able to sit on her fanny for an entire month. Oh, I tell you what. And then she'd try to sue me for that. Oh yeah. And then I'd break her legs off and beat her over the head with them. That's right. Oh yes. And then they'd put me in jail for that. Oh, yes, indeed. Because you're not allowed to discipline your kids anymore. Oh, no. That's why they're a bunch of ignorant, foul-mouthed little brats. Oh, yes. That's why they are out of control. Why, my grandpa would knock my block off and hand it to me when I deserved it. Oh, yes, my old man would take a belt to my butt when I needed it. That's right. But oh no, you can't discipline the little darlings like that anymore. Oh no. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the root of the problem. That's right. It's the root of the problem with kids today. And I tell you what, you can take that to the bank. That's right. You can take that to the bank. Okay? All right? Get on in there. Get yourself on in there with all the rest of them. Get yourself on in, disrespectful little brat. I ought to brain you. Get in there. Okay. All right. I tell you what. You are listening to the Samsel Report. And it's your own damn fault, I'm telling you. You got nobody to blame but yourself. Okay? All right. What was that, sweetheart? What did you say there, darling? Okay. All right. I know, but we can't do that till later, okay? We can't do the Charlie Danger thing till later. So you just gotta be patient, okay? Will you please be patient with me? Do you understand when I'm talking to you? Huh? Do you? Okay, all right. We'll do that later on in the show. Okay? All right? Okay. Man, oh man, she gets so insistent sometimes. She gets so demanding at times. Right? I tell you what.
You're right with Wild Bill's Freedom Posse.
That's right, you're riding with the Freedom Posse. Oh, yes, right here on Revolution Radio. Okay? All right. Now, I tell you what, it's 9:35 here in St. Louis. Whatever time it is, wherever you are, I have no idea. Okay? So I tell you what, but let's move on with the headline Roundup, okay? All right. Here comes our next headline. Here it comes. Atheists attack the World Trade Center cross and they demand that it comes down. Okay? Are you with me? Okay? The controversy over a cross-shaped steel beam that was found in the World Trade Center rubble has atheists arguing for its removal before the Second Circuit Court of Appeals this week. Okay? They are all upset about this. Okay? All them people over there at the American Atheist Group, they're just all upset about this whole thing. Okay? A cross-shaped steel beam recovered from the rubble, and because it looks like a cross, right? So, okay, all right, okay, so here we go, all right? The American Atheist Group asserts that the cross does not belong in the 9/11 Museum, since the facility will be on property leased from the government. Okay? That's their argument. Okay? Now, American Atheist President David Silverman says, it's necessary to fight this because it is inequality on government property. That's right. It's inequality on government property. That's what American Atheist President David Silverman had to say. And that's not all. That is not all. American atheists are offended by the cross. Like vampires, they recoil at the mere sight of a cross. And that's just the cross itself, ladies and gentlemen. A cross with our Lord and Savior on it can cause them convulsions and make them soil themselves. Oh, man. And that can be extremely embarrassing. Yes, the sight of a cross drives them crazy. They feel they have the right to not be exposed to crosses or crucifixes. Okay? Yes, not only should the cross be removed from the World Trade Center site, but they believe crosses should be banned nationwide. Oh, man. Oh, yes, that's what the American atheists think. That's right. Now, I tell you what. If these people find the cross so offensive and unacceptable, then I've got the solution. That's right. I have the solution to their problems right here. I got them right here. That's right. That's right. I'll just put them out of their misery. Okay? All right. There you go. There you have it. All right. That takes care of that. That takes care of that. Am I right? Man, oh man, oh man.
You're riding with Wild Bill's Freedom Posse.
That's right, you're riding with the Freedom Posse. This is Wild Bill's Headline Roundup.
Free your mind, and your ass will follow.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, and no truer words have ever been spoken. That's right. Oh, yes. So, you are listening to the Samsel Report. This is Wild Bill's Headline Roundup, and we move on to our next headline. Our next headline. Households have lost $278 billion in income over the last 5 years. That's the headline. That's the way it reads. A new Bureau of Labor Statistics report revealed that February marked the 74th straight month that unemployment levels have been below what they were at the start of the recession in 2008. Do you believe this? Huh? The economy has consistently produced too few jobs to keep up with population growth. Oh, man. Government debt has increased by 69% since 2008. Oh, yes. Median household income has decreased by 10.5% over that same time. Yet this week, the president submitted another tax and spend budget that would add $8 trillion to our present $17 trillion debt. You see there? How do you like them apples? He would add more than $1 trillion in taxes to an already weak economy. And he would further grow Washington and shrink the middle class. That's right. Oh, yes. But hey, the economy is in recovery, right? Isn't that what the Obama administration and the mass media tells us? Isn't that what they tell us? Can't you tell from the rising cost of gas and food prices? Are your utility bills going up? Are your taxes increasing? What about the rising cost of everything? How about the fact that everybody everywhere is taking a pay cut every month because of the declining value of the dollar? What do you think of them apples? Are these all signs that the economy is improving? Huh? Is it improving for you, the listener out there in radio land? Is it getting better for you? For anybody you know? Huh? I tell you what, you want to know the truth? You want to know the truth? Well, I tell you, the truth is that we're all going broke, people. That's right. We are all being robbed. We are being screwed. That's right. Me and you and everybody else. And that's no matter what the dirty rats in the District of Criminals have to say about it. We are being wrung through the ringer, ladies and gentlemen. And I tell you what, it's going to get worse. Oh, yes, I tell you what. People keep believing all the lies and disinformation. People keep on supporting either criminal party. People keep voting for the same old dirty scumbags. People keep putting up with it, and pretty soon they'll be homeless. That's right. They'll be homeless and they'll be eaten out of garbage cans, while the scumbags in D.C. are eating caviar and drinking champagne. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And you can take that to the bank. That's right. Oh, man. Oh, man. That's right. I tell you what we do. I tell you what we'll do. Let's take that one there and let's put it where it belongs, okay? We'll put it right there where it belongs. There we go. Get on in there. There you go. Round and around and around and around. All gone. All gone. Ladies and gentlemen, all gone. Okay? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boy, oh boy, I tell you, let me ask you this. Are you having a good time out there in the radio land? Are you having a good time? Oh, man, look at that. Look at that right there. Everybody is having a good time listening to the Samsel Report tonight. Oh, man, look at that crowd out there. Look at them all going. Look at there. Woo-hoo. Man, oh, man, oh, man. Okay, all right. I tell you what. Ladies and gentlemen, let us continue on with the headline roundup. Okay? All right. Our next headline. Here are a few factors that are turning America into a living hell. Okay? That's the headline. That's right. Here are some factors that are turning America into a living hell. Okay? The United States once had cities that were the envy of the entire world. But now they are degenerating into rotting, festering, crime-ridden hellholes. Oh, yes. All over the country, there are communities where crime, drugs, and gangs have gotten completely out of control. Oh, man. With each passing day, our cities degenerate, and life has become a living hell for many Americans. Here are just a few factors that are turning life in America into a hellish nightmare for many. Okay? Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Okay? A criminal, traitorous government intent on enslaving the American people. That's number one. Okay? Number two, a fraudulent banking system. Okay? All right? Number three, traitorous and criminal multinational corporations. That's number three. Here's another factor. Factor number four. Installation of a globalist new world order. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Number five. Military intervention on a global scale in places where we have no business being militarily involved. Okay, that's number five. Okay, all right, number six, deindustrialization, monetary devaluation, and unchecked illegal immigration. Okay, all right, you got that? Huh? Okay, now, hold on a second here. Now, next, another factor Installation of a track and trace total control police state. Okay? All right. Am I doing good so far? Okay. All right. Next. Another factor. Chemical and radiological contamination of food, water, and air. Okay? All right. Next. Another factor that is turning America into a living hell for many. The ruination of medical care delivery systems by government, insurance industries, and pharmaceutical interests. Okay? That's a good one. That's a good one right there. That's all about Obamacare and all that crap. Right? Right? Are you ready for the next one? The next factor. A phony war on terror that is used to justify military intervention abroad and as a means to nullify the Constitution and the Bill of Rights domestically. Okay? You got that? Okay. The next factor. Programming, propaganda, disinformation, and population control techniques employed by government, corporations, and the mass media. Now that's a good one. That is a good one, ladies and gentlemen. And you know, these are just a few of the factors that are turning life in America into a hellish nightmare for the American people. I'm sure that if I put my mind to it, I could go on and on, and this show would run into next week. That's right. We are in deep doo-doo, ladies and gentlemen. Now, you and I know this. You listeners out there who are awake and can think. But what continues to drive me absolutely crazy? What baffles me to no end is the last one that I mentioned. The last factor that I mentioned, the programming, propaganda, disinformation, and population control techniques employed by government, corporations, and the mass media. All right? Now, how can these people continue to believe all that manure? The liberal leftists, and even many who consider themselves conservatives, they all continue to get their information from traditional mainstream media sources. These are the same ones that laugh at us and blow us all off as extremist, crazy conspiracy theorists, right? That's what they label us as. That's what the media has labeled us all as, right? I mean, the truth is right there, staring people right in the face, and yet they refuse to see it. I mean, it just baffles my mind. You know what I'm talking about? You know, is it me or what? Huh? But I tell you what, I'm getting this psychic impression in my mind all of a sudden. And for some reason I sense the cosmic vibrations are telling me that we're going to go into a break here. Okay? So I tell you what, let's go with my psychic extrasensory perceptive powers here. And we will go to a break.
Madison Avenue mentality. Look out, it's gonna get ya, man, it's gonna get ya. It's gonna get ya, oh no, gonna get ya, oh no. Madison Avenue mentality.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen.
Free your mind, and your ass will follow.
That's right, you are listening to the Samsel Report. This is Wild Bill's Headline Roundup. Are you ready to ride? Okay, all right, here we go. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we didn't finish the last one. Where did we leave off? Where did we leave off? Oh. About, about the programming and the propaganda, right? You got the brain-dead zombie media heads out there. The totally hopeless idiots that haven't even got a clue. And I tell you what, they don't care. They don't care. The ones with their heads going boom, 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 boom with the hip-hop crap. Oh, yeah. And the ones with their pants around their knees. Huh? Am I right? And the ones with the rings in their faces. And the reality show junkies. Right? And the Walmart crowd, right? The ones who can't read or write or speak proper English, huh? The public school dropouts that couldn't find the United States on a map of the United States, okay? The hopeless Neanderthals out there that can't tell their own asses from a hole in the ground. Right? They do not care. They do not give a damn. They don't want to hear it. That's right. That's right. The brain-dead zombie media-headed sheeple out there. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the power. That is the power of the mainstream media. That is the power of the mind control techniques employed by the television, the movie, and the music industries. That's right. That is the hold that the government and corporations have over the brainwashed, ignorant masses. That is how they are getting away with it all. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And that is why the alternative media is so very, very important. That is why this here network and other similar networks out there are so vitally important at this time. That's right. That's right. We have to break through all the noise and distraction of the mainstream media. That is why I do what I do on this network. Okay? All right? So I try to deliver the info in a different way. Okay? Because all this crap can get to you. That's right. I know. So I try to be funny, you know. I try to relieve some of the stress that I know that awake and informed listeners feel. Right? But I am just a tiny little part of this great big movement. Okay? I mean, there are many other show hosts on many other networks that are doing their best to inform and educate and awaken people out there. That's right. And I tell you what, most of them don't get paid for all of the work and all of the effort that goes into it. Oh no. Oh no. They do it because they feel that it's the right thing to do. They do it because they believe in America. Oh yes. And they believe in the Bill of Rights. That's right. They believe in the Constitution. They believe what that flag stands for. Okay? Because they believe in truth, justice, and the American way. And they are doing one hell of a great job of it, I tell you what. Oh, yes, they're doing one hell of a job of it. So let's give a great big Samsel Report round of applause for everybody out there. Okay? All right? There you go. There you go. All right. Oh, yeah. See there? See there? That's why the alternative media is so very important, okay? And let me tell you something, people. Let me tell you listeners out there, you are just as important, okay? That's right. You are the resistance. It's your getting out there and spreading the news about the alternative sources of information that is helping this movement grow. Okay? You are the foot soldiers for these networks and for these hosts. Okay? We can't do it without you guys. That's right. That's right. So I tell you what, help to promote your favorite shows. Okay? You help support the networks with purchases and donations. Okay? All right? Would you do that for Wild Bill? Would you do that for old Wild Bill? Okay. All right. And God bless each and every one of you guys out there in Radio Land. That's right. And all you guys down there in the chat room, too. Oh, yes. Because we love you. That's right. We love you, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. And together, we will prevent the destruction of America. And we will take back this country to the greatness and dignity and the freedom and liberty that it has lost. Okay? All right? Will you do that with old Wild Bill? Okay? All right. Okay. Well, I tell you what. There you have it. There you go. That's my 2 cents worth. See? That's my rant for the evening. Okay? You see there? I can be serious once in a while. Right? Right? So put that in your pipe and smoke it. Okay? And then come and tell me about what happens. Okay? Man, oh man, I tell you what. That about wraps it up for another installment of the Headline Roundup. Okay? That just about does it. That just about does it, ladies and gentlemen. So, you know, I tell you what. Let's take a look in the corral. Let's take a look in the corral, see how we're doing. How did we do during this here Headline Roundup, huh? How did we, I lost the corral. Where the hell did the corral go? Oh, my goodness. My goodness, I can't find the corral. Oh, man, oh, man, I tell you what. Let's here, press this button. Oh, that's the turkeys. Oh, my goodness, that was the turkeys. There you go. I tell you what. Let's look in the corral and see how we did tonight, okay? Did we do good? Yeah, we did good. We did real good. We did real good on the headline roundup tonight. Let's look in the other corral. What do we got in there? Oh, it's all the Washington politicians in there. There's Clinton. There's Gore. There's Obama. There's Obama over there. This is Michelle over on the other side of the room over there. I tell you what, there's Kissinger. There's the whole bunch of them. They're all in there. Okay, all right, I tell you what. We did real good. We did real good, ladies and gentlemen. Man, oh man, you ought to be proud of yourselves. You ought to be proud of yourselves, okay? You should be proud of yourselves.
You're riding with Wild Bill's Freedom Posse.
That's right, because you're riding with the Freedom Posse. So there you go. There you have it. That wraps it up for another installment of the Headline Roundup. Okay, it's time to bring the Headline Roundup to a close. Okay? All right. Let me explain something to you here. Last week, we had some technical difficulties in the second hour. Yes, we had just started the Charlie Danger episode when all of a sudden we had dead air for about 10 minutes. That's right. Oh, yeah, it was terrible. It was terrible. It screwed up the whole episode. That's right. I had to cut it off because the show was running out of time. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And in fact, a good 10 minutes of Charlie Danger did not even get heard. Okay? So I promised I would replay the whole thing. Okay? I would replay the whole thing this week. All right? So that's the promise that I made to you, to everybody out there in radio land. Okay? And that's exactly what I am going to do. Okay? But before I do that, I've got a surprise for you guys. Okay? I have a special guest here on the show that will be making her debut next week in episode 4 of Charlie Danger, Private Detective. Okay? All right? Okay. You got that? Okay? Oh, Sweetheart, I tell you what, Sweetheart is all excited about this. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, she is. That's right. That's right. Oh, she's all excited about it. Okay? I tell you what, okay. I tell you what, you can join in if you want to. Okay? You can join in if you want to. Okay? You can do that. Okay, okay, all right. She's all excited. That's right. My guest is a big star in her own right. That's right. And I am happy that she will be co-starring along with Terry Joyce and myself. She will be co-starring in the continuing Charlie Danger old-time radio series. That's right. That's right. So I tell you what, with no further ado,
So, without any further ado, please welcome to the show none other than the one, the only, Lassie. That's right. Oh, yes. Boy. Hey there, girl. Thanks for being on the show tonight. And welcome to the Charlie Danger radio program. Your big debut will be next week. Are you excited about it? You like me and Terry? Well, we like you too. That's right. You like being on the show? Well, we like having you. Oh, yes. Well, I'm sure you're going to be a big asset to the program. What was that, sweetheart? What did you say there, darling? What? You want to be on the show, too? Well, I don't know. Because Charlie doesn't ride a horse. Are you telling me that you're jealous of Lassie? Well, that's not nice. I've got a jealous horse and well, now, you know, you guys, you see there, sweetheart? Now Lassie wants to be your friend. See there? That's a great idea, Lassie. That's a good idea. We'll have to write into the script a little part for sweetheart. Okay? And then both you guys can be happy, okay? All right? So that's what we'll do. So there you have it. There you go. Next week, Lassie will be debuting on the Charlie Danger radio program, and we will be writing a small part in there for sweetheart as well. Okay? All right? Okay. So there you have it. There you go. Thank you, Lassie, for being on the show tonight. You know, sweetheart is all excited about this. Where'd that come from? What is that? Where did that come from? What is that? Get on now to there. Get. Okay. All right. Okay. There you have it. There you go. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I ask you now, do you know what time it is? Do you know what time it is? Well, let me tell you. It is time now for the moment that you have all been waiting for. It is time now for another exciting episode of The Adventures of Charlie Danger, Private Detective, starring yours truly and the one, the only, Terry Joyce. So, without any further ado, it is my pride and privilege to introduce to you Episode 3 in its entirety. Charlie Danger, Private Detective.
Yes, it's Charlie Danger, Private Detective. Charlie Danger, defender of the Constitution. And now, Charlie Danger, private detective.
The Bohemian Grove turned out to be a sprawling mountain valley estate, secluded away from the rest of the world. We made our way through scenic switchbacks in our chauffeured limousine. After dropping off Jane on the side of the road in her ninja outfit and gear, Holmes and I proceeded to the main gate, and we breezed right through the machine-gun-toting guards and security personnel. Once inside, we got the royal treatment. The place was more like a castle than anything else. It was extremely posh and luxuriant, and I would imagine unbelievably expensive. From the lobby, we were escorted into our suite. We didn't waste any time. There was just too much at stake. Within 20 minutes, Holmes and I were in one of several lounges or smoking rooms where the elite gathered before going to dinner. Holmes found that he was standing at the bar next to none other than Henry Kissinger.
You are new to the Grove?
Kissinger asked.
I am a guest of Professor Mariachi, though I have yet to see him this day.
I just left him downstairs in the steam room with all of the teenage male prostitutes.
Oh, really?
Replied Holmes.
Well, I wouldn't want to intrude upon his little tryst.
Will you be attending the ritual sacrifice to the owl god Molech and the cremation of her ceremonial this evening?
You mean an actual satanic ritual in which world leaders, industry heads, government officials, world bankers, and the illuminated elite are all willing participants?
Most certainly. And the fun part is that you can be completely naked underneath their robes.
It was at that point that David Rockefeller entered the room and strolled up to the bar.
What do you think, Henry? A major pandemic?
The population again, my friend.
Biologic or nuclear?
The wiry little old man snapped.
It is imperative that we rid the world of the useless eaters.
Rockefeller looked at Holmes.
Who the hell are you? My name is Holmes. I'm the guest of Professor Mariachi.
Rockefeller looked Holmes over from head to toe.
The North American Union is a great idea. Don't you think it's a wonderful idea? Brilliant, I'm sure,
replied Holmes.
But how do you intend to sell it to the American people? What the hell do they know?
Said Rockefeller with a mad grin.
F*** them, I say. F*** them.
With that, Rockefeller laughed insanely as he and his friend Kissinger strolled arm in arm away from the room. Yours truly wasn't faring any better than Holmes. I had found myself sitting in a booth with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Hillary Clinton.
I am so overworked from ruining the economy of California,
Schwarzenegger was saying.
Why destroy the economy of California?
This is America. It's amazing what you can achieve with the backing of the right people. People in very high places.
Motivation?
I am motivated by millions and millions of dollars and power over millions and millions of people. It's hard work, you know. It's nice to get away from it all and have some fun.
Yes, while my Billy Boy is running around the grounds in his birthday suit with all of the teenage sex slaves, I can relax and enjoy the cross-gender thing. I can be openly lesbian.
At that point, The Rothschilds arrived, and both of my booth mates scrambled from the booth to run over and fawn over them like they were gods. A moment later, Holmes slipped into the booth beside me.
These people are not only perverted, they're also quite insane.
Have you located Mariachi?
Yes, but trust me, we don't want to interrupt him at the moment. Suffice it to say, he's definitely here.
I sat back in the plush booth and lit up a smoke.
I wonder how Jane's making out.
Holmes struck a match and puffed his pipe to life.
Hopefully, she's dug in somewhere, and will rendezvous with us in our room after dinner this evening.
Dinner took place in the most decadently opulent dining hall, complete with all the amenities that royalty could ever possibly demand. While many of the world's leaders and elite were seated at a lavish dining table of honor, Holmes and I sat isolated at a small table in the back corner of the room. Armies of servants served up an elegant dinner. Holmes and I ate our meal while listening to speakers like Rockefeller and Rothschild droning on and on about how wonderful the New World Order was gonna be.
From what I gather, they intend to systematically disassemble the United States, decimating its economy and bankrupting everyone except themselves. They want global control of everything. They want to micromanage everybody's lives everywhere. This is indeed the most diabolical scheme I have ever encountered.
At that point, Jane Cannery made her presence known from underneath the dining table.
Hey, watch where you guys put your feet.
Jane? What the hell are you doing down there under the table?
I had to get a word to you guys. Right after dinner, you better get yourselves out to the lake for the satanic ritual. Professor Mariachi will be there.
I looked down into those big, beautiful eyes that were looking up at me from under the table.
How did you manage to get underneath the table? Would you been there all along?
Never mind that now.
She's right. I suggest that we make sure we're all fully armed and wired.
We have to get out to the lake for the ritual before someone else tries to stop us.
Don't worry, baby. We'll meet you there in less than an hour.
Since dinner is completed, we shall depart immediately for our room to don our ceremonial robes.
With that, Holmes and I casually made our way back to our room. We were in luck. It was dark outside, and the deep blood-red robes we wore made it easier to blend into the darkness. We made our way by sticking to the shadows, the trees, the woods, and the brush. The ceremonial area by the lake was brightly lit with torches, and there were people dressed in various colored robes dancing around a huge bonfire which burned before a towering statue of the owl god Molech. Holmes and I made our way around to the wooded shadows behind the great idol. Being rigged for recording video and sound, Jane ventured to get as close to the action as she could. We were all in communication through our tiny headset transmitters. Some of the revelers dancing around the bonfire had shed their robes and were frolicking around in the nude. At this point, I would rather not go into a description of what Bill Clinton, Henry Kissinger, and Nancy Pelosi look like naked. Suffice it to say, I'd really like to forget what I saw. It was downright nasty. And then Holmes spotted him. I turned around and looked, and there was Mariachi. He was leading the likely dressed members of the mariachi orchestra. Suddenly, I felt a hand slap me on the back.
I hope you boys are having a good time.
It was a robed and highly inebriated Edward Kennedy. His breath smelled like an entire brewery.
You boys feel free to join in right there with everybody else. I have to find somewhere for me to take a leak.
Without another word, Kennedy staggered off into the deeper bushes. I couldn't believe what I was witnessing. Holmes and I watched as the world's elite drank heavily, swore profusely, frolicked naked, and fornicated openly.
Speak on, dull care. Fire shall have its will of thee. Speak on, dull care. And all the winds make merry with thy dust. Hail, fellowship's eternal flame. Once again, midsummer sets us free. You shall burn me once again. Now but leave, flame, which hither ye have brought from regions where I reign. Ye fools and priests, I spit upon your fire. O great owl of Bohemia, we thank thee for thy adjuration.
I tapped on the tiny microphone of my communication device before I spoke.
Jane, can you hear me? This is incredible. Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
I got the grand seat. I'm getting it all down on video, but I can't hear what you're saying very well.
I turned up the volume a little.
How's that now? Can you hear me better? Listen. Holmes and I will get what we can from in back of the bird, and then we'll make our way over to the band. That's Mariachi's current location. I repeat, that's where Mariachi's at. Meet us over there.
Sometimes you get so wrapped up in what you're doing that you quit paying attention to what's going on around you, just long enough to get yourself in trouble. I hadn't noticed that the band had stopped playing. The people had stopped dancing, and everybody was looking at me. Apparently, my transmission had been picked up by the PA system and broadcast to the entire crowd. I turned and saw that Holmes was already running away as fast as he could, and so I wasted no time in joining him. Behind me, the satanic ritual had turned into mayhem. I could hear screams and guns going off, and there were several big explosions. I hoped that Jane was faring well back there. I had lost track of Holmes, but in this kind of situation, it's usually every man for himself. Your cover's blown, the bad guys are after you, and you're lost in the woods in the dark. After spending 2 days roaming through the woods, the mountains and valleys, the wind and the rain, I emerged on a side road where I waved down a ride in an Amish buggy. That took me to the nearby Holiday Inn. I thanked the Amish guy and handed him a C-note. What really amazed me
was that I found Jane Cannery there. She was sitting on the curb in front of the place, drinking coffee and smoking a fag. She smiled when she saw me.
What took you so long? I was beginning to think you didn't make it.
I'm happy to see that you did, baby. Any sign of Sherlock Holmes?
He's inside the crapper. He booked us into some rooms. You look like you've been through the ringer.
Later on, as we sat in Holmes's room thinking about what our next move would be, my mind began to wander. Sometimes you take on a case thinking nothing of it, and you wind up in a river of crap. That's how I was feeling as we sat in Holmes's room there at the Holiday Inn. I found myself thinking about walking along beaches, petting a favorite dog or cat, drinking iced tea on your front porch, or dancing with the woman you love. Then I thought about the dirty rats who've got so much wealth that they could never spend it in a lifetime, or 2, or 3, or 100 lifetimes. The kind of low-down scum that thinks they're royalty and destined to rule over the rest of humanity and turn people's lives into crap. Vulgar, bloated, megalomaniacal scumbags that need to have their asses kicked and thrown into prison. Well, they had done it. They had really pissed me off. Right then and there, I decided I'm not going to take it anymore. Just who in the hell did they think they were? When did God die and leave them in charge?
Well, Holmes, where do we go from here?
We must keep that document out of the globalist hands at all costs. And we must also get rid of the traitorous Patriot Act.
And we must do away with the Security and Prosperity Partnership and the plans for a North American Union.
And don't forget, we must also do away with the Federal Reserve.
And if I were you, I would most undoubtedly pull out of the United Nations.
Holmes puffed his pipe to life and said through a cloud of tobacco smoke,
I would also shut down the Bohemian Grove and the Bilderberg meetings. I would also shut down the CFR and the Trilateral Commission. Then I would arrest everyone involved and try them for acts of treason against the people of the United States.
Yes! Pull out of the WTO and throw out NAFTA and stop the flow of illegal aliens across our southern borders. Yay!
A criminal investigation of the Bush administration and reinvestigate the events of 9/11.
Hey, what about Obama? He and his globalist cronies just pulled off the biggest financial heist in the history of mankind.
Everyone, please. We must not get carried away. We must concentrate on the situation at hand. I believe we're upon the pathway that may ultimately lead us to justice served.
Holmes was right. First things first. Still, the more I thought about it, the more complex it became.
This thing is too big. We're in over our heads.
I told you that in the beginning.
Look, we need to lay low. They're wise to us, and they'll be looking for us. Now, we got plenty of dough. I say we rent us a car and start heading back east.
If we were successful at eluding the authorities, it would give us time to come up with some sort of plan. It was Holmes's brilliant mentality that came up with an idea. The feds couldn't track or trace us if we didn't appear to be who they thought us to be.
If we could disguise our identities, we could move about freely. It could buy us all the time we need. With Holmes's expert help, we all took on disguises. Holmes became the Elephant Man. Jane became Julia Child, and I became Ziggy Stardust. In these disguises, there was no way Uncle Sam would know who we really were. Who else but Holmes could come up with such a stroke of genius? Later on, as we drove down the interstate in our rented Winnebago, everyone had calmed down and chilled out. Things had started looking up. That is, until we got to a little town called Salt Flats in Arizona. That's where we pulled into a truck stop for gas and eats. We fueled up the Winnebago, and then we went inside to the restaurant and got a table. The waitress came over to take our order.
What the hell happened to him?
She asked as she looked in shock at the Elephant Man.
Don't worry about him. He was born that way,
I said as I casually looked at the menu she handed me.
Were you born that way too?
Sure thing, sister. Any more wisecracks?
For a second I thought about slugging her, but I just grunted and buried my face in the menu.
And I know you're from somewhere too.
She said to Julia Child as she handed her a menu.
Let me know what poison you all decide on.
She said with a shake of her head as she walked away.
I say, doesn't that waitress remind you of somebody? Tell me about it.
Half an hour later, the waitress returned with our meals.
I hope you choke on it.
She said as she placed our meals on the table before us.
If you do, don't come crying to me.
Excuse me,
said the Elephant Man.
I wonder, do you have a relative in New York who is also a waitress by trade?
Yeah. What's it to you?
Simply a matter of deductive reasoning. You are a waitress. Your hair and facial features are similar to hers. You speak with a New York accent. Your demeanor is quite similar, and your name tag reveals your name to be Margie.
Look, if you think you're funny, guess again. Any more lip out of you guys, and I'll have you thrown out of here.
Without another word, she abruptly turned and headed back towards the kitchen. The journey back east, except for a number of slight incidents along the way, was actually pretty uneventful. After all, everybody was in disguise. Well, actually, if you want to get technical about it, our disguises were the cause of several slight incidents that occurred along the way. Holmes tried several different disguises. First, it was Mr. Hyde, of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. But that didn't work out very well because at the very next restaurant they threw us out of the place. The next thing he tried was the Incredible Hulk, but that didn't seem to work out either. He experimented with the Hunchback of Notre Dame, the Cowardly Lion from The Wizard of Oz, and the Fat Man from The Maltese Falcon. He tried Jimmy Cagney, Jimmy Durante, and Gabby Hayes, too. Then he tried the Invisible Man. That actually worked out pretty well because we didn't have to pay for his dinner at the next 3 truck stops. I still can't figure out how that happened. The problem with the Invisible Man disguise became evident when Holmes was run over by one of the big rigs while crossing the parking lot. The thing that bothered me about being Ziggy Stardust was that several times there were strange men in the men's room that would come on to me. Most of the time, I would get stares and remarks like, "Hey, baby, you're in the wrong bathroom," or, "Hey, Joe, look at what we got here." I talked Holmes into doing up a different disguise for me. I'd had enough of being Ziggy Stardust. Jane wasn't too happy about her disguise either. Strangely enough, nobody seemed to bother Julia Child. I think it was because she was so homely looking that most people avoided her. Aside from all that, things went rather smoothly. I mean, we had eluded the feds, which was the reason we were all in disguise in the first place. So, in that sense, the disguises were a success. I guess. We decided that the best thing we could do was to head for Washington, D.C. to look up the one politician that we thought we could trust. That was Congressman Ron Paul. When we reached D.C., we pulled the Winnebago into a Motel 6 and got us some rooms. We were all supposed to meet at the Denny's next door to the motel for some eats and to plan our strategy. That's when Holmes, who had transformed himself into the guy with the tongue from Kiss, went and got a copy of the Washington Post. He sat there browsing through it as Jane and I looked at the menu.
My God!
He gasped suddenly.
We seem to have made the newspapers.
Let me take a gander at that.
Sure enough, right there in black and white, the headline read, "Search for Terrorist Continues." The article read, "Homeland Security continues its search for Charlie Danger, Sherlock Holmes, and Jane Cannery. The gang is suspected of plotting against the federal government. They are dangerous terrorists bent on terrorist activities for the purpose of creating terror in order to terrify decent American citizens terribly. The DHS, the FBI, CIA, ATF, and the IOU are still searching for Danger, Holmes, and Cannery. It is believed that they are wearing disguises, though authorities are having a hard time keeping up with who is actually disguised as who. Loyal Americans who are still under the illusion that the government has the people's best interests at heart are hereby encouraged to report these terrorists to the government authorities."
Damn it! What in the name of tarnation do we do now, Pa?
exclaimed Jane, who had taken on the disguise of Marjorie Main as Ma Kettle.
Well, now, I reckon we'll just have to keep on keeping on, Ma.
I said. I had taken on the disguise of Percy Kilbride as Pa Kettle, because if you have Ma, you ought to have Pa too. Anyway, that's what Holmes had suggested.
Well, that's all there is to it.
I said in anger as I crumpled the newspaper.
There's nothing left for us to do but take these dirty rats on and give 'em everything we've got.
Holmes looked at me and shook his head.
You may be right, Mr. Danger. Things certainly look bleak, but if you give me some time, I think I may be able to formulate a plan of action. Yes, you've been listening to Charlie Danger, Private Detective. Tune in next time for the next exciting episode of Charlie Danger, Private Detective.
And there you go. There you have it. There you go. Okay? The exciting episode of Charlie Danger, Private Detective. You want to tune in next week? Oh, man, you want to tune in next week for the continuing adventures of Charlie Danger and the debut appearance of Lassie, okay? All right, will you do that for a while, Bill? You know, it's time for the show to come to an end. That's right. It's time for this here show to be going away.
Hello, I must be going. I cannot stay, I came to say I must be going. I'm glad I came, but just the same, I must be going.
That's right, it's time to be going. Besides, I got this psychic impression that just came over my mind. A psychic look into the future, which told me that we would be going to the break, the show would be over, and that would be the end of it right there. Okay? So, be with me next week at the same time, same station. It's time for me to go. Okay? God bless you. Take care.
Radio at freedomslips.com, and we'll be right back after this message.
That make the rules. Play you just like a fool. Keeps you in ball and chain, and in ever-increasing pain. But as you realize that you've been believing lies and you've been hypnotized by television lights, they tell you day is night, they tell you wrong is right. But I say, how do you like the way things are today? The things are today. Do you like the way things are today? People that make the rules treat you like a total fool, controlling from birth to grave. They're mindless robotic slaves. But as the eagle falls and you're against the wall, and will awaken more to the new world order, make up your mind. You'll have to choose a side. But I say, do you like the way things are today?
How do you like the way the things are today? Things are today. The things are today. How do you like the way?